Yeah, okay. Welcome to Fluffy Sexy Bitches and welcome to some SCP reading. Before we start, I just want to tell you guys I have read SCP the 520s. I have read the 520s with a friend, so I didn't record that, and I just want to make sure that that will be explained in this video right now. That there's a chance I won't be able to read every SCP and record it and put it up for you guys. Because sometimes I just want to read them, or a friend wants to read them with me, so it's going to happen that eventually some SCPs will just be skipped. Now, to make up for that, I just going to really quickly tell you what I think about each one, if I recall what they are. And it shouldn't... And then afterwards we can go on with the I want to say 530s. So, really quick, here we go. I believe, yeah, so here we have 520. The knife switch, basically, it's like the electrical switches. And it basically turns certain electrical things on and off again. It can also turn on and off vehicles and in a very long distance. It's not like you plug it in. It literally doesn't have any plug. You just do shit. And I believe one is for radius, one is for on and off again. And it has said stuff like, oh, like it actually caused a plane crash because the plane just stopped working. So it was a bit confusing. It wasn't really that. I guess my friend and I just said like, hey, this seems like something that you just can have nowadays on an app, you know, like just to turn on and off something in a long distance. Like my stepdad, he has the cameras from one of the houses in a different country, so if somebody rings, he can actually look at his phone and be like, who the hell just rang at our house, you know? Which I personally think he doesn't need that, but that's his choice at the end. So I think that this one was a bit weaker, but it's fine. Then we have the post box, so anything that gets put in that post box will immediately show up at that location, except that it will have, instead of your letter or your package, it will always be a letter or package from like a war, from the past war. And I believe if I recall correctly, it said that none of the people that they mentioned actually exist. But it would just be something like, yeah, it would just be like, oh, I've been away for like 80 days and I missed you every day. I witnessed one of my friends get shot in the hip and we had to carry him, something like that, you know. And it always ends up at the location that you want to send the letter to. It's pretty good. I think it's like if you think about it, it's I think for dramatic irony, it's pretty good. Like the idea that you just get a letter from a war from a person that you never heard of. I think that's pretty creative. The only thing is, from a story point, it doesn't really bring much trouble. It seems more like a prank gone wrong, or a prank in general. You know what I mean? Like for any person who gets that letter, would just be like, why did I get this? Like, who sent me this? You know what I mean? With a knife switch for a story, that makes sense. The fucking airplane just crashes, or the car stops to work, or suddenly in the middle of the night the TV turns on. That is spooky. But yeah, the post box, I think I prefer more with the knife switch. But as a story, as like what's the word? I guess as for like drama and all that, and it's just a bit weaker. Then we have blood draining carpet. This one's actually pretty good. It's not, the carpet is supposed to be covered in some sort of fungus, and if one human stands on top of it, it will wrap around you and just drain you out of your blood by piercing into your skin. And if there's another human that watches you, it doesn't do it. It seems to have like a very animalistic behavior, almost like a crocodile. Like it waits and waits until it knows it can attack, and it's secure to get a meal. Because I believe they also found out that certain animals can work as well, as long as there's as long as they're both on the carpet. Like if one is off the carpet and one is on the carpet, then nothing happens. Pretty good. I think that one's like my friend and I were really having fun with that one. The most unhelpful option on Earth, that is hilarious. It's basically a thing that just it transforms into anything that's around you. It could be your phone, it could be the mouse, it could be a dice, it could be a plushie, it could be headphones. And the moment you want to use it, it will transform into something else that doesn't work in that situation at all. So let's just say you want to write a letter with a pen. You see a pen, you don't recall that you put it there, but you're just grateful there's a pen right there. You pick it up, you're about to write, and suddenly that pen becomes what's a good example? A lighter. There we go. Let's say that. Like you click on the pen, but for some reason it becomes a blowtorch, and your paper goes on fire. Something like that, you know. It's very hilarious because like I think the best one was definitely when it said a doctor asked for a scalpel, but in the moment he was about to incision the scalpel into the body, it became a chainsaw. So I was like, ooh, can you imagine like how much of a freak out you must have as a doctor and your nurse when you're just like, okay, time to come, and this tiny scalp becomes a giant chainsaw. And as long as the guy's under anesthesia, you won't feel anything, but it still will be very surprising. Then we have Walter the omnivorous rabbit, basically a white rabbit that just eats everything. And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be made out of metal, it could be made out of wood, it could be made out of I guess plasma. Could be made out of paper, bronze, anything, even like radiation stuff. He eats that shit. Doesn't matter. It doesn't care. He just eats it. Yeah, reminded me of the Monty Python rabbit a little bit, but the Monty Python rabbit specifically attacked humans. This one just eats stuff. Ice spiders, pretty gruesome. It's some sort of like eight-legged being that launches itself at your eye and then digs your eye out, places itself into its socket, and then puts the eye back in, and then lays eggs beyond the eye socket, and then like it's just more of these things. I don't mind spiders. I personally am grateful for spiders because whenever I see a spider, I'm like, you eat all the mosquitoes and flies away, and all the other insects that dare step into my house. So hey, like, you keep my house clean, and you can just stay here. That's how I see it. Of course, many people that I'm friends with don't like spiders and they don't want spiders around them. So I just put them in the pick them up on paper and just leave them out and just drop them outside. But that thing, that's fucked. I don't like that at all. Oh boy. Then we have Valhalla Gate, basically a hill where every certain day or hour, an army of anything, Vikings, Roman soldiers, military, World War II military soldiers, and so on and so forth, they come out and just want to fight. So yeah, that's basically it. And then we have Mr. Fish. I believe Mr. Fish was just some guy with a fish head, if I recall correctly. Actually, let me double check. That's the one I don't fully recall right now. Let me just double check that. Yep, there. Yeah, he just a guy with a fish head. And from what he remembers, he was born. I was born this way. I was born this way. Okay. Then we have Voodoo Putty. Basically a putty that you can just shape into anything, and it works like voodoo. Josie the half cat, a cat that doesn't have a lower bottom, or like the basically other end of itself, like the tail, the back legs, and all that. It acts like it does, like it walks around and sits down like it does. But if you will put your hand there, there's nothing there. It's just empty. And that's all the SCP-5 520s, and I think like the first two ones were a bit weaker, but the rest I think were pretty solid. I think they were pretty solid. My favorite ones, I would say, is the most unhelpful option on Earth. I think that's just it's such a troll of a SCP, and I think it's just hilarious. Like it has like endless possibilities kind of thing, and that's also really fun to do as a film idea, as a shorts. So yeah, I think I really like that one. Blood draining carpet is pretty gruesome, and I think that's pretty cool. That one's pretty cool for sure. Ice Spiders is just, but it's good. I think it's very good. But now, without further ado, we got a shit ton of SCPs to read, which is the usual 10, but you know, it's still a lot. So we have SCP-530, Carl the Variable Dog. Also, by the way, I apologize for the fan in the back. It's pretty warm where I am right now, so I just have to have it on. Oh, that's pretty short. Okay, decent rating. It's safe. Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna make myself some G Fuel. I forgot about that. Be right back. Alright. Got it. We're good to go. I'm gonna put this OBS over here. There we go. That way I can keep track if I'm still in the picture or not. Alright. Up to class save. Special containment procedures. No special precautions have yet proven necessary. Carl is very calm and friendly, and at this stage is free to move about the lower levels of the facility. Carl is free also to interact with SCP-529, which we just established was Josie the Half Cat. Yeah. As the two have proved non-hostile towards each other as well. Staff are not permitted to feed SCP-530 anything other than his approved food twice daily or his approved treats during training. Description: SCP-530 appears to be a small dog in a constant state of physical alteration. Height typically varies between 20 centimeters and 30.5 centimeters at the shoulders. Width across the back typically varies between 7.5 centimeters and 18 centimeters. Length typically varies between 25.5 centimeters and 45.5 centimeters. Larger and smaller sizes have been recorded but are rare and do not last long. The code of SCP-530 is also in a state of constant change. To date, 467 different hues have been recorded, as well as an unidentified numbers of patterns. The most extreme flux comes from the growth of or absorption of additional limbs, noses, mouths, eyes, ears, and other body parts. While this typically do not last longer than 24 hours, a third eye located slightly left of the center on the top of SCP-530's head has remained sane approximately 1/2 hour after its discovery. Addendum 203A. Agent blank blank fed Carl a slice of deli ham of standard proportions in clear violation of dietary regimen. The resultant odor has been described variously as horrid and plant withering. Agent blank blank has been reprimanded. Okay, yeah, so looks like certain food just causes a type of reaction on smell. I wonder, you know how wet dog smells? I wonder, like, if you put this dog in a tub of water, would the smell intensify? Would it smell different? Also, why plant withering smell with what was it? A deli ham? Questions. But hey, it's just a dog. It's just a dog that keeps on changing. Do you think the dog feels pain? I hope not. I hope not. I hope the dog just goes through this and just keeps on wagging his tail, just happy. Happy little pupper. I just really hope it doesn't feel pain. I guess if it does, it would howl all the time. It would just be like, and you'll be like, oh god. I mean, if that's the case, then just pull him out of his misery, dude. Like, just don't keep him alive just for your experiment. He's clearly not enjoying this. All right, 531 is Paired brass god cats. And let me just take a sip out of my G Fuel. Yeah. Come on. Fuck. Opening up has made me spill a little bit. Oh boy. Oh boy. Not my new pants! G Fuel! Every time! No, just kidding. Why can't you just love me? Woo. Okay. Again, paired brass god cats. Ooh, a higher rating. Yeah, I need to look here, not myself. I'm not a narcissist. I shouldn't look at you guys. You are on this journey with me. By the way, got my first shot against Corona. I'm doing good. It's been a couple of days now, and yeah, I'm feeling great. My next shot is already like the appointment is already made. It's gonna be in like 3.5 weeks, I would say. Yeah, I'm glad I did it. I'm mostly doing it for other people, not for myself though. Especially somebody very dear to me. Okay, it's a safe again. Special containment procedures. SCP-531 statues are effectively harmless when kept facing each other. When not being studied, they are stored in matched pairs in the medium security facility, blank, placed in wall alcoves on opposite sides along a marble-lined hallway in an arrangement that approximates the circumstances where the original pair was found. The alcoves have sliding doors that can be closed via remote control to make it easier to approach them for maintenance or experimentation, or on those occasions when there are an odd number of statues in inventory. There are currently 14 statues in inventory, numbered SCP-531-12-14. I wonder how big those things are. We already have a picture of Dash 11 apparently, right here, and I wonder if they're like normal cat size, if they're miniature size, or if they're like humongous. If it is, we'll see. We'll see. You know what? No, gotta keep myself here. You know, gotta keep looking if I'm doing everything correctly. I press recording. That's good. If it is anticipated that the Foundation will have an odd number of SCP-531, I would say 4 again, statues in an inventory for an extended period of time. In example, it is not a temporary condition resulting from an in-progress test. A D-class personnel should be assigned to ensure that all statues have a partner. Body system. It is better to do this in a controlled manner than risk an accident exposure. I wonder what happens if if you don't have a body system for one of the cats. What will happen then? What horrors are waiting for us? Making the table wet. Here's the description. How long is this? Ooh, we have an extra page. Okay. SCP-531 consists of several paired sets of brass statues depicting stylized felines. The cats are in a seated posture, looking forward with each eye raised in what is usually described as an attentive expression. Each cat is, 74.2 centimeters tall. That is, I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me just stand right here. So, my legs are 1 meter. So I would say they are around here-ish. To like the middle of my thigh. Those are some big statues. Some big cat statues, that's for sure. They are, yeah, okay. And a solid metal weighing 451.7 kilograms. That's quite a lot. Those shits are heavy, and there's 14 of them. Their eyes are inset with what appear to be a polished tiger eye stone that give an impression of luminescence, though they do not directly emit visible light. The original pair of these statues were found by archaeological expedition at a tomb near blank Egypt. Of course, it's Egypt. Where else would it be? If there's one place where you find cat statues, it's goddamn Egypt. That date to approximately blank BC. The other number of the tomb had been thoroughly looted in antiquity, The two SCP-531 statues were located in the passage leading to the inner chamber in alcoves 54 centimeters above the floor on either side of the passage and facing each other across it. Although the passage was open, no looting had occurred beyond this point. The expedition's members experienced an extreme aversion to passing in between the statues, and it is speculated that this psychological barrier is what protected the inner chamber from prior looters. But is that all it can do? Is that all you can do? Yeah, so you can beat people like a sheep, I see, but is that all you can do? Take it away, Dave! Okay, the expedition managed to overcome this barrier through data expunge means and proceeded to retrieve the tomb's artifacts. No SCP items were among them, but they were later impounded at a Foundation facility anyway. See Annex 531-B. The last items to be retrieved were SCP-531 themselves. One of the statues was hoisted down from its alcove and created for transport, with the plan being to create the second one on the next day, not create. At some point during the night, redacted went missing and a new replacement statue was found occupying the vacated alcove. The expedition decided to reseal the tomb with replacement statues these two statues remaining in the alcoves. The statues they had placed in the crate was taken with them to the Blank Institute, where another individual went missing and another new statue was found in storage paired with the original. It was at this point the Foundation staff retrieved both pair of statues along with the new artifacts from the tomb. Note, due to sloppy record keeping by Redacted, who was lost during early testing of SCP-531's properties, it is not known which two of the four statues impounded by the Foundation at this point were the originals. Oh great, so like, that's just fantastic. Well, then question. I highlighted that the statues themselves wrote SCP-531-11 on itself, so you probably had to chisel that in, right? Properties. When a pair of two SCP-531 statues are facing each other, they produce a powerful suggestive effect, preventing anyone passing between them. This is a psychological effect. No measurable physical force is generated. It is conjectured that this is the primary function of the statues, and in and of itself, this effect is harmless. Okay, so you can basically create like a psychological barrier where you cannot pass because those two cats are like staring at each other. It's kind of like the manifestation of never jump in between somebody, in between two people when they're looking at each other or talking to each other. You know what I mean? Like on the streets, you see two people clearly talking to each other, and there's a small gap, and instead of going around, you decide to go straight. That's fucking rude. You shouldn't do that, unless they distance themselves on purpose to let you through. Then you can, but if they're just not moving, don't just be the dickhead that just goes straight through them. Just go around. And I think that's a manifestation of that. It's like a manifestation of this is an area you shouldn't pass, because otherwise it's just, yeah. If the line of sight between the two statues is broken, a more dangerous aspect of SCP-531's effect manifests itself. Observers will be drawn to meet the gaze of one of the orphan statues themselves. Once the gaze is met by an observer, he is unable to break eye contact without an effort of will beyond the capability of most people. Okay, I mean, as long as you're Green Lantern, who has the most willpower, you should be fine. But otherwise, you're fucked. A trapped individual will feel a mental pressure forcing him to crouch down so that his eyes are level with the statues. After several minutes in this pose, the subject body begins to slowly stiffen and become heavier as the transmutation effect takes hold, converting the subject into a duplicate SCP-531 over the course of approximately 1 hour. So the reason why there's 14 of them is probably because they tested a bunch of shit, and instead of 4, they got 10 more statues. Wow. And as they said, they don't know which one is the original. Well, it is safe though, because all you gotta do is just line them up so they're looking at each other, and you're fine. You're fine. Don't move them. Don't touch them. The subject remains aware throughout the Are
You serious?
No. Say that again. Say that again. The subject remains aware throughout the process but will remain unable to break the statue gaze. They are aware they're becoming cat statues. It's like Animorph, but instead of willingly, it's against your will and you become an inanimate object instead of an animal. Jesus. Damn. Once the physical transmutation has begun, there's no known way to halt or reverse it. Don't move that juice. Oh no. like the cat. Duplicate is an exact copy and produces the same effect as the original SCP-531 statues. It is unclear whether this duplicative effect was intended by whatever agency created the original SCP-531, or if it is a side effect of the powerful link between the two statues. The guy's just like, I just want the cats to look at each other and nobody coming in between that. There's a line where they look at each other, nobody break their gaze, okay? Nobody go in between that line. All I want is them to look at each other. They're lovers. They're meant to look into each other's eyes deeply. By the way, what happens if I move the statue away? Don't do it, man. I just want them to look at each other, bro. Don't do it. Okay, man. Okay. Moves the statue. Ah, shit. And the guy's like, oh, okay, damn, I did not intend that effect. For the most recent rounds of experiment logs, see experiment log. Okay, how big is it? Oh, that's pretty small. That's pretty good. That's doable. That's doable. Yes. This set of experiments on SCP-531 was conducted by Dr. Redacted, who replaced the original principal investigator Redacted. The initial series of experiments prior to this were inadequately documented and are not included in the official summary. Experiment 531-B1. A Class D subject with high measured psychological resistance threshold was exposed to SCP-531-7. Partial transcript. Okay, so is it like midnight or is that just like the first, like are you measuring the minutes? I don't know. Okay, so we have D4A1-1. What is? It's beautiful. Where's it from? Its eyes. What about its eyes? The demanding eyes. Demanding. I can't look away. I can't. Subject tries to grasp Redacted's arm, but a security guard delivers a mild jolt from a stun baton to remind subject against such actions. Subject helps but doesn't break eye contact with the statue. What is it demanding? I don't. Oh God. No. Please no. Repeats question. It's demanding me. It wants. It needs me. No. No, I won't. And I don't know if that's seconds or minutes. At this point, the subject is crouched down directly in front of the SCP-531, trembling and sweating profusely. I guess it's seconds. I assume it's seconds. So 27 seconds later. Is it though? Yeah, I'll go with seconds. Please, God, no. Come now, we heard you paying enough already. Nobody's listening to that. No, that actually doesn't make sense if it's seconds. I think that's minutes. I think that's 27 minutes. Yeah. And that's okay, that's minutes and that's an hour. Okay, I think that's it. Come now, we heard you're praying enough already. Nobody's listening to that. What is the statue saying? Lonely. Oh God, so lonely. Her partner's gone. She has nobody to talk to now. Nobody to complete her. I fucking knew it, dude. They're fucking in love, man. They're in love, bro. It's a romance between statues, and you are the asshole who came in the way. You took the love of her life away, and she will make you her own. Note the particular SCP-531 the subject is interacting with used to be Dr. Redacted, who was indeed female. Okay, maybe I was wrong, but hey, I still think it's a love, dude. I think it's love. Subject was not prompted with knowledge about the statue's former gender. What's her name? I don't. Oh God, I don't know. Please let me stop looking at her. None of us are forcing you. Talk to your partner about that. 45 minutes. Subject is still crouched and breathing is labeled, but subject is no longer trembling. Subject clothing has begun crumbling into a fine powder, with large sections peeling away to expose unnaturally smooth and bronze-tinted skin. The shape of the subject body is also more noticeable feline at this point. Subject eyes now resemble polished. Yeah, because it did say that it takes an hour, right, for them to transform. So I was right. It is minutes. I was right the second time, not the first time. The shape of the subject's body is also more. Subject's eyes now resemble polished amber stones and are unable to blink through though tears continue to leak from their corners. Are you still resisting her? Yes. Bastard. Keep it up, we're getting great data. Says, can't help, says, you're a bastard too. Oh, perhaps. But I'm a bastard who follows safety protocols better than she did.
How dare you?
Excuse me? You gonna fucking insult your coworker like that? Now, you know what? Dr. Redacted and D481-1, you have a romance now, and your romance will be fueled by the equal hatred towards this guy, because he deserves being transformed into a statue. He deserves it. He should trip up one day and just be like, oh shit, no, and then just look at the statue, and the statue's like, long time no see. Okay, 1 hour and 9 minutes in. Subject is now almost indistinguishable from the other SCP-531. This is actually pretty good. I really like this one. Its skin has a fully metallic sheen, and its immobile body is shaped like a large cat. While signs telemetry indicates less than 1 beat per minute heart rate, and the movement of its chest while breathing is imperceptible. Are the two different doctors? No, never mind. Are we done here? Dr. Redacted wraps his knuckles lightly on the subject's head, producing a metallic clink. Again, holds the microphone closer to the subject's mouth. Beautiful. No further audible response comes from the subject. Heartbeat ceases at, so like 4 minutes later. Transcript ends. Subject D481-1 now designated SCP-8. Yeah. Wow. That doctor is a dick. Experiment B2. -7 was allowed to begin establishing a connection with a test subject, and then the connection was severed with an opaque barrier once the test subject began to turn metallic. The test subject still completed the transmutation into -9, but the process took approximately 36 hours. Wow. So instead of an hour, it's just a day and 12 hours extra. Well, 11 hours extra. Jesus. Can you imagine, like, you look at yourself transforming slowly but surely into a statue? Like, with the hour one, it's slow, but it's an hour. While in the meantime, you have 35 extra hours here to, like, just look at yourself and go... You know what I mean? Like, it's just... So that's number 9. There's still 5 more to be made, and I assume not all of these create more. Right? Right? B3. On one SCP-531 was placed on a mobile platform, was moved away from a second SCP-531 to determine the maximum range of the connection. Various different pairs were tested, and in all cases the connection appeared to be severed at approximately 5.5 meters. Okay, interesting. Experiment B4. -7 was turned away from -9, and the pair was left under observation. After approximately 12 hours, the surface of the wall that -7 was facing began to flake off. Oh shit! It was discovered that the deep cone-shaped plug of the wall had begun suffering structural degradation under the solitary SCP-531's gaze and has to be rebuilt. It is speculated that the SCP-531 was trying to convert the wall into another SCP-531, and finding no suitable subject, the wall was closing cohesion much as a human subject's clothing normally does. It is recommended that the sliding doors have over SCP-531 contained alcoves be routinely checked for similar degradation. Damn. Yeah. If a wall would transform into SCP-531, will it be bigger or will it be the same size? Because the weight, I assume the human size doesn't have anything to do with the weight and height of the statue. Because no human weighs 450 kilos. So I assume it doesn't matter what weight you have and what size you are, you just transform into the same statue. Experiment B5. -7 was placed in front of a mirror. D-class personnel then assessed whether this would behave as a lone statue or a pair. It behaved as a lone statue, converting a test subject into -11. Notable, however, was that the test subject locked gazes and was converted via the mirror reflection. The Perseus protocol would appear to be ineffective protection. Experiment B6. -9 was exposed to a test subject via closed circuit television. No connection was achieved. Okay. So you actually have to have you have to be physically in the room and looking at its eyes to have connection. Experiment B7. -9 was exposed to a test subject with filters of various wavelengths separating them. Filters were removed one by one until a connection was established and the subject was converted into -12. Isn't that kind of dumb to keep on testing on this thing? Because yeah, it's good to know what can cause a connection or what can stop a connection. That's fair enough. But isn't it just smarter just to keep the statues looking at each other and just never touch them again? I feel like, yeah, okay. I mean, that's just me. Curiously, the key wavelength appears to be infrared in the 3 to 4 micron range, a range that the mirror used in the previous experiment was capable of reflecting. Subsequent examination with more sensitive detectors showed that the eyes of all SCP-531 statues emit a dim, narrow band signal at 3.77 microns. Signal modulation matches closely with weak electrical fields in the statues that have been previously measured and interpreted as a residual brainwave activity. The information content of the signal, if any, is thus far indecipherable. Experiment B8. A pair of SCP-531 statues, -11-12, were arranged with one on a rotatable platform. The statue was slowly rotated until its connection with its partner was broken, and it established one with a test subject instead, -13. The critical angle was found to be 29.2 degrees, plus or minus 0.1, so never mind, not 30, so it would be like 29.1 or 29.3. Okay, the infrared signal emitted by SCP-531 falls off dramatically outside its cone. Experiment B9. Infrared detectors and emitters tuned to 3.77 microns were used to attempt to maintain a connection between physically separate SCP-531 statues. The attempt failed. It is unclear whether the artificial link was simply of insufficient quality or if there are additional channels or variables not yet understood. Experiment B10. 3 SCP-531 statues, 7, 9, and 13, were arranged in a triangle such that 2 of the statues were both within the critical angle of the third. A test subject was introduced, and one of the two SCP-531s formed a connection with her, -14. This suggests that an SCP-531 can maintain a connection with only one partner at a time. So yeah, you cannot look at 2 partners at the same time. Okay. Wow. And that's how we got all the 14 statues now. And here we go. Memo 531-BB. Proposed use of SCP-531 for containment of other SCP items. That actually sounds like a good idea. if the other SCPs don't feel like passing through this one either, you could essentially prevent some outbreaks. But at the same time, you won't have enough statues for all the dangerous SCPs unless you willingly sacrifice. I mean, this would be a way to terminate the D-class members. It would be gruesome, it would be inhuman. But let's be honest, the Foundation is really known for treating the D-class with love and respect. So if you want to have like a very strong SCP security measure, just transform every D-class that's supposed to be terminated into one of those things, and then just create a barrier for the SCP. But at the same time, if you want to do tests on the SCP, it's gonna be impossible because you yourself cannot go through it either. Okay. They could theoretically constrain the movement of sapient SCPs that physically barriers are ineffective against. Yes. Figure -BB1 shows one hypothetical example of an arrangement of 10 SCP-531 statues that should create a pentagonal cage approximately 6 meters in diameter, and that any entity affected by SCP-531 would be unable to exit. This has not yet been tested in practice. A hexagonal arrangement is also possible, but the experimentally determined critical viewing angle leaves very little margin of error in this case. Figure BB2 depicts a segment of a fence of arbitrary length using the same angles as a pentagonal cage. A feature of this proposed design is that the SCP-531 units are mounted on a platform that can rotate 36 degrees, triggered simultaneously along the entire length of the fence. Triggering the rotation should cause all of the units to simultaneously switch partners to the units immediately besides them, opening the entire perimeter. A fence with this design will require one SCP-531 unit for every 1.5 meters of length, using a maximum unit-to-unit distance of 5 meters. The same mechanism of rotating units can also be used with the pentagonal cage describing previously. Figure BB3 shows a switchable gate arrangement or utilizing 90-degree rotation of 4 SCP-531 units. 331. That's way past that. Alternatively, a single pair of SCP-531 units could be used with retractable opaque barriers over the alcoves, much as it's used in containment when individual units are removed from storage. But testing this alternative leaves the SCP-531s unpaired while the gate is open, however, which may prove to be a hazardous situation during long-term use. I see. Yeah, so if you put something in there, you can keep them in there. I want to see the close up to this one. Okay, yeah, I see. Oh shit. Well, I mean, we're done anyway, so no, that was fun. That was a good one. I really enjoyed that one. It's very creative and spooky. Not spooky, kind of dark. Because, like, you know, you become a statue. It's messed up to know that all the other SCPs, besides the original 2, used to be human. And yeah, woo. Okay, we have SCP-532, Frostbug. A Frostbug, okay. Oh, this one has the lowest rating so far, and it's a Keter. Okay, we have our first Keter, ladies and gentlemen. We have our first Keter. Let's see what it does. Well, let's first see what the containment procedures are. Standard biohazard containment procedures are to be followed for all research samples of SCP-532. Samples are to be kept at a constant temperature of -8 degrees Celsius. Any personnel and encountering instances of SCP-532 outside of the Foundation custody are to evacuate all outdoors areas immediately and contact Dr. Blank. Description: SCP-532 is a pathogenic bacteria most similar in composition to Pseudomonas auricihapitans. SCP-532 shows an increased tolerance for low temperatures, showing peak reproductive rates at -25 degrees. The full tolerance range of SCP-532 is approximately minus 52 degrees to minus 5 degrees. Furthermore, SCP-532 shows several mechanisms in order to cope with high temperatures. Several small flagella line the cell membrane, allowing SCP-532 to be carried by air currents into the upper stratosphere and lower mesosphere. Due to a lack of energy source, SCP-532 will enter into a state of hibernation for an indefinite amount of time while in the atmosphere. SCP-532 will leave its hibernating state once it detects warm air currents coming from the troposphere. SCP-532 will then retract several of its flagella and descend into the troposphere. The heat provided by the troposphere generally causes several instances of SCP-532 to turn into a clump, similar in view to a snowflake. Ah, that's where the frostbug comes from. Okay. If the heat provided by the troposphere is above 0 degrees, SCP-532 will typically die before reaching the Earth's surface. Instances of SCP-532 reaching any inorganic material or a non-exothermic organism will spread their flagella and be carried by the air currents back into the upper stratosphere. A lot of spheres. SCP-532 is coated in a chemical that reacts with the lipids of an exothermic organism cell membrane to create an endothermic reaction. This simultaneously kills nearby tissue and provides a suitable temperature for SCP-532 to reproduce. Victims of SCP-532 describe this in a similar manner to the cold felt when a snowflake makes contact with human skin. Okay. But then it tries to reproduce. Does it do anything else though? Like, does it just make it feel cold, or does it make your whole arm have frostbite? Does it freeze your arm over? SCP-532 shows a tendency to break down and ingest the dermis and will not enter the body until the surrounding dermis has been covered. SCP-532 will then enter the bloodstream, causing major damage to the circulatory system due to the freezing and subsequent crystallization of water molecules. Typically, the victim will die of blood loss. Oh boy, it's like, you're being frozen over from the inside out. Oh. If anybody has ever felt your skin going numb because you held like snow in your hand, in your bare hands without any gloves, and you understand how it feels if your hands go numb, or it's just cold enough for your hands going numb. Imagine that, but it's from the inside, and it must feel painful to move anything, because every time you move, you just break ice inside your own body. Following the death of a host victim, SCP-532 will migrate back into the upper stratosphere. SCP-532 shows a 98% mortality rate if it's left untreated, 100% if SCP-532 is caught onto the tongue. Oh yeah, because of the liquid. Ooh, Nelly. Treatments of victims of SCP-532 may be conducted through exposure to water heated to a 20 degrees Celsius or more. Basically, go to an onsen. However, this results in massive tissue damage to affected areas. Extreme cases of SCP-532 infected may require amputation of affected limbs. But would you rather have tissue damage or die from having your whole body freeze from the inside? Sometimes you just gotta, sacrifice one or the other. Wow. I understand why it has a bit of a low rating. It's kind of like it's not the easiest to follow because of all the different spheres. It's not everybody knows what is it called, the troposphere or the where is it, the mesosphere. Not everybody knows those words reading these, or has never heard of these before. And but I think it's a very clever idea, because the whole idea of a snowflake comes down and you try to catch it with your tongue. That's a childhood thing, and some grown-ups still do it. So taking that and make it into a dangerous being, a bacteria that decides to let me just freeze you from the inside out, I think that's clever. I think that's pretty cool. It's a shame it has a low rating. I think it deserves more than that. I would say I think I would add 100 extra. It's not the best key though, but I think it deserves 100 more than what it has right now. SCP-533 Snake Necklace. Okay, we have another save, the third save. So far 3 saves, 1 key though. This is the second highest rating. Second. That's the lowest ratings from the saves one so far, but it's the second lowest from all the ones so far. Okay. Special containment procedures. SCP-533 to be kept around the neck of a display dummy in a room 12B at the blank storage facility. The dummy itself needs to be a special. The dummy itself needs no special properties, but it must be kept in a glass case with glass breakage sensors on each face. The case itself must rest on a scale. A computer is to monitor the breakage sensors and the scale at all times. If at any time the glass breaks or the weight of the case exceeds blank kilograms, the procedure 533-1 must be executed immediately. Description: SCP-533 is a necklace, usually approximately 54 centimeters in length and 3 centimeters in width. While the necklace has been under Foundation observation, the length has varied between 51 centimeters and blank centimeters during the data expunged. The mass of the necklace varies between 804 grams and blank kilograms, but it is typically close to 1.9 kilo. That's pretty heavy for a necklace. 1.9 kilograms for a necklace. That's pretty heavy. That's like, I don't know, like that's like a massive steak, like a steak, you know. All metallic portions of the necklace have a dull gold finish and appear to be made of cheap metal. Permission for further testing of the metal fittings' resistance to physical damage is pending approval, but existing test data shows that the fittings are more resilient than they appear. The clasp is of the standard barrel type. Attached to each side of the clasp is a round metal fitting. Most of the... I need to check something real quick. Okay. Most of the mass of the necklace is the body of a snake. The snake body is in constant motion, emitting from one of the round fittings and sinking into the other at approximately 1.2 centimeters per second. The rate of emission does not seem to vary as much as the length and mass. The rate of absorption alters to accommodate changes in length. Since the Foundation acquired the necklace in 1980 blank, an estimated 12,000 kilometers of snake body has appeared from one end of the necklace and disappeared into the other. Damn. So it's kind of like the Ouroboros, right? Where it's like it's a snake eating itself, but it's just endless. It's just going on and on and on and on. The snake body can be easily damaged by conventional means, but any flesh or fluids removed from the body will be drawn towards the sink, fitting and eventually reabsorbed. This physical attraction is similar to magnetism, except it does not increase in inverse proportion to distance from the fitting. Samples permanently lose the attraction if they are moved more than blank centimeters from the necklace and will not be reabsorbed even if brought into direct contact with the sink. Okay. The snake just going around on your neck. That would freak anybody out at a local ball. Oh, look at that! There she comes. It's Jessica. Doesn't she look gorgeous in that red dress? And she always manages to pull off those high heels. Hey, is that a new necklace? Yes. And is this just me, or is that necklace moving? Nah, that you had so much of that champagne, old chap. The necklace can't be. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. It is moving. Does it? Is that a snake? No, it's metallic. Right? It looks metallic, but it looks like a snake. Does she have a snake around her neck? Nah, she wouldn't walk into a ball, into a gala with a snake around her neck. Gentlemen. Glad to be here. Is that a snake around your neck? No, that's just a necklace. It just happens to move. Okay. And that tension is done now. Let's go back to reading. Coloration, markings, and texture of the snake skin changes over time. Herpetological analysis of the markings suggests that if the necklace were the body of the snake, the type of snake indicated would not remain the same. Various types of snake have been observed, but most often, what if it's an anaconda? But most often, SCP-533 appears to have a body of some type of constrictor. Oh, that's just nice. Having a constrictor body, snake body around your neck, that's not worrisome at all. DNA testing of blood samples seems to support this hypothesis. Testing with D-class personnel indicates no adverse effects from wearing the necklace, although test subjects express strong desire to remove the necklace as soon as possible. I mean, to be fair, unless you own a snake and you have the snake around you, I don't think you're going to be ever comfortable with the idea of a snake-like being going around you all the fucking time. One such test subject had prior experience handling reptiles, but even he was uncomfortable handling SCP-533. He reported that it felt wrong, even though chemical analysis of skin samples showed no abnormalities. Oh, interesting. Even if you actually dealt with reptiles before, that having that around you still makes you go like, take it off. Addendum 1. SCP-533 is not to be removed from the containment except for testing. Specifically, SCP-533 is not to be worn to social events, Foundation sponsored or otherwise, Dr. Blank. I know I joked around about Jessica having that on at the local ball, but I didn't think anybody would actually think that in the Foundation universe. Please, Doctor, I just want to impress my friends. They would never believe me if I had a snake necklace that can move. And then 2, considering the number of years we had 533, we have 533, it may seem unlikely that that procedure 533-1 will ever be needed. However, I must remind the incident response personnel in charge of 12B that if the procedure is ever required, then failure to execute it promptly and exactly could fill the building with snake blood within blank hours. Unless you like drowning in reptile blood, I suggest you stop the fairing procedure 533-1 in your drill rotation. Dr. Blank. Addendum 3. SCP Blank has, for reasons it has declined to share, stopped drinking all types of reptile blood. SCP Blank and SCP Blank are currently under consideration as stopgap replacement for SCP Blank in procedure 533-1. Until the new procedure is finalized, drills are suspended, and I'm to be paged if the measured mass of SCP-533 changes by more than blank %, Dr. Blank. Addendum 4. Images of SCP-533 have been redacted and purged following Dr. Blank's discovery that the scale patterns of SCP-533 can be analyzed to reveal encoded messages. Excuse me, what? That is odd. Okay, I did not expect that to be the last thing to read. The redaction and purge was required because one of the decoded messages was discovered to be an accurate record of the movements of Foundation personnel during the week of 2040 blank. Okay, so this is in the future? Interesting. Yeah, it's okay. I do like the idea that it's a snake necklace that just moves. I like the idea. I think visually this SCP is pretty cool. Like, if I would love to that would be a cool, like 10 seconds animated GIF type idea, you know, like just making that just like that would be cool. That'd be cool. Maybe not 10 seconds, like 5 seconds or something, but you know what I mean. Misplaced blood, and we almost reached the halfway point. Okay, our first Euclid. Welcome to Fluffy's expedition. Welcome to this video, Euclid. Here we go. All instances of SCP-534-1, 2, and 3 are to be kept in a plastic covered airtight containment chamber. Entrance to the containment chamber is to be conducted through a double airlock, the chamber of which is to be equipped with a high-grade disinfectant, With the exception of testing, all personnel entering SCP-534's containment chamber are to wear Class 3 biohazard suits. Description: although the biological mechanism behind the support are currently not fully understood, SCP-534 appears to be a collection of several different human blood cells and cell fragments that have increased in size several hundred times. The components of SCP-534 have been placed into 3 different classifications: -1 erythrocytes, -2 neutrophils, and -3 thrombocytes. All samples of SCP-534 appear to have the ability to survive while floating in the air. I'm not sure how I feel about blood floating in the air as if there's no gravity, but let's see what else it can do. And are affected by air currents. All concentration of cells appear to match normal blood, with -1 comprising approximately 97% of SCP-534. No instances of SCP-534 require nutrients. -1 acts in a manner typically of normal erythrocytes and averages 1.7 mm in width. It will absorb oxygen from the surrounding air upon coming into contact with living cells of another organism. -1 will actively diffuse oxygen into the organism. Due to -1's large size, oversaturation is common. Allowing -1 to enter or touch areas of living tissue may cause oxygen poisoning, resulting in death of the affected area. Wow. So if you have a slash, it's just a small cut, and that thing touches it, that say goodbye to your arm. -1 appears to have an indefinite lifespan. -2 is typically 2.2 mm across and will perform phagocytosis upon any foreign organic material it comes in contact with. Air samples from -2 containment areas have shown them to be 99.9% pathogen free. Subjects entering areas containing large amounts of -2 will report an itchiness in their skin due to -2's destroying the epidermis. Oh no, okay. Continual exposure to -2 will result in subjects being eaten alive. -2 dies normally, the remaining mass is eaten by other instances of -2. Damn. -3 is generally 0.5 mm across. It will release normal proteins upon becoming disturbed, causing several instances of -1 to clot. Recorded sizes of clots have been up to 3 cm in length. The subject will stay in an area with a large amount of -3 and -1 will become covered in clots within 1 hour. Inhaling -1 and -3 simultaneously is lethal. Like -1 and -3 appears to have an indefinite lifespan. SCP-534 was originally discovered by the Foundation personnel in Prometheus Labs biology sector. I'm not sure why that word was so hard to read for now. With notes indicating its creation as a replacement for all blood transfusion. Although -2 was multiplying rapidly, -1 and -3 are unable to reproduce and were to limited quantity. Currently, there is no way of reproducing -1 or 3, and personnel are advised to be careful in their handling. I'm just going to check how big this file is to read. Okay. It's, well, these ones that you can, nah. Yeah, no, we don't need to read this one. Okay. A replacement for blood transfusion, you say? Kind of odd for the fact that no -1 kills or overloads you with oxygen, so you have oxygen poisoning. Not sure about the blood transfusion there, Doctor. I'm not sure if that works out. Communicative beaker. Okay. The second Euclid, welcome! First Euclid is not lonely anymore. The Keter. Hey, if you can have one more. My hand, this hand was here, was like this, and this hand was down here. I have no idea what the fuck just moved that down lower. Okay. Also, now I'm unsure. Did it actually move, or did I just imagine that? I'm gonna see in the recording. I guess that was freaky. That was weird. SB535 is to be kept in a secure storage room at site blank. Standard positive action defensive. What was this one called again? I got so freaked out I completely forgot. Yeah, communicative beaker. Sorry. Standard positive action defenses, explosive, chemical, biological, and mimetic are to be in place at all times, according to standard operating procedure. SCP-535 itself is to be placed in its own containment unit, a soundproof lead-lined steel box of dimensions 4 meters cubed, and of thickness no less than 5 centimeters at all points. SCP-535 is secured to a pedestal in its containment unit such that it is positioned in the center of the box. No mimetic-based SCPs are to come into contact with SCP-535. No liquid is to come into contact with SCP-535 except under the controlled testing circumstances. To facilitate this, the containment unit should be sealed and contain backup dehumidification apparatus. SCP-535 should not be handled directly except under controlled testing circumstances. If the need to handle SCP-535 arises, it should only be performed by one personnel of level 3 clearance or higher, with no other individuals present in the immediate area and with mechanical apparatus to prevent being within 1 meter of SCP-535. SCP-535 is not to come into contact with other anomalies associated with the information transfer, such as SCP-606, which we'll get to there at one point. Description: SCP-535 appears to be an ordinary 250mm boroscillate glass laboratory beaker. It was recovered from an abandoned storage facility in Blank, USA. SCP-535 origins has been traced to a glassware factory in Blank owned by the Blank Corporation. Save its manufacture of SCP-535, no evidence of any extranormal activity has been found in relation to said factory or corporation. All liquid touching the inner surface of SCP-535 will immediately transform into a pale, translucent liquid of viscosity 1.511 cp, approximately the viscosity of mercury. From here on, designated as -1. Other forms of matter are not affected. Analysis of -1 has revealed that it is composed of Analysis of -1 has revealed that it is composed of approximately 36% water. However, the remaining 64% encompasses 14 previously unknown substances. It is fit for human consumption, disregarding the non-chemical effects of SCP-535, and produces no visible reaction. When -1 is poured out of SCP-535 and comes in contact with a solid or liquid surface, it instantaneously evaporates, leaving no discernible trace. Okay. When various forms of information storage or transmission comes within 1 meter of -1, -1 will activate and change color depending on the nature of the source. The following colors have been observed: red, all digital media, computers, compact discs, etc. Orange, radio waves. Yellow, sound waves. Lime green, photographic film. I love how these are all like the cartoonish colors, you know, that you always will see in like in those speakers in like cartoons. Blue, text and physical visually imagery. The precise hue of blue has been observed to change depending on the medium the texts or images are transcribed on. Purple, magnetic tape. White, the human brain. Black, data expunged. Okay, let's see what else it has here to say. Analysis of activated -1 shows it to be chemically identical to inactivated -1. -1 appears to absorb information from its surroundings. If activated, -1 is poured out of SCP-535, it will subsequently transmit the data that has been contained to whatever it lands on. So if there's a text, and it becomes, so texts are blue. So if there was a text sent around, I guess text as in like a book, like if there's like a like paper with text on it, and then it becomes blue and you pour it onto the surface, it would say the text on it, I assume. If if it is compatible in some way. For example, if activated -1 comes into contact with a computer and is then ported onto a different computer, the information from the first computer will be copied to the, to the second. Oh, that's how it works. If activated -1 was ported onto any non-digital device in this case, there will be no effect. In both situations, -1 would evaporate and disappear. Oh, so you have to port onto the same thing. The amount of -1 utilized appears to have no effect, and multiple transmissions of data can be made by conserving the contents of SCP-535. Pouring activated SCP-535-1 on the device which initially activated it has no effect. The various forms of electromagnetic waves able to activate -1 will be retransmitted to the surroundings regardless of the object -1 is poured on. Physical text and images will be transcribed onto any solid surface in the areas where SCP-535-1 is poured onto. Note the text is displayed on a digital screen is considered digital media rather than print. This is invariably in the same medium the text was originally written in. Any large collection of text is usually unreadable, as it is resized to fit inside the area in contact with -1, and only a relatively small amount of -1 is available at any one time due to SCP-535's small size. When a living human comes within range of -1 turns white. However, human memories and thoughts are not retransmitted with the same efficiency as other information. The effects of pouring active white -1 onto another person are highly unpredictable. In benign situations, the subject may acquire a minor fact or memory. Far more common, however, is mental illness, including but not limited to schizophrenia, dissociative identity disorder, severe anxiety or generalized hallucinations. Schizophrenia is also a common effect. In the most extreme cases, coma followed by death may occur. So far, no pattern has been discerned as to be potential effects of active white -1. Further testing with caution is warranted. The mental contents of other beings do not affect -1 with the exception of data expunged, resulting in data expunged. Addendum: Dr. Blank has suggested using the replicative properties of SCP-535 with regards to physical media to reproduce substances of value to the Foundation. This proposal has been approved by 052 and preliminary experimentation has been scheduled. Okay. Not the strongest SCP in this one so far, but I do like the idea that I think visually it's funny that it looks like the typical like cartoon scientist lab beaker liquid. Like the green, the blue, the neon red, and all that. I think that's funny. I think that's very like a nice callback to like any like person who watched those types of cartoons. And I do like the idea that like it can absorb information and you can just put it on something else, and then the information gets shared around like that. But at the same time, that thing has to be in a certain radius, so you could just, I don't know, if it's a computer, you can just start the computer up yourself and just look at the information, right? If it's a book, you can just look for the book, and so on and so forth. There's no need. I mean, unless it would be good if you want to, like I can imagine like in a spy situation, if you want to copy a diary or a book or like certain paperwork, but you can't take it with you, but you have an empty piece of book or paper with you, and you have this thing, and it gains the information, and you just pour it onto the paper, and then you have the information yourself, and then you should walk away. That I can see. I think that would be pretty dope. But other than that, I feel like a lot of things are just around the corner for yourself to just open up and look into it yourself. But I like the idea. But it's not my favorite SCP. It is a cool idea, but not my favorite so far. All right. Physical law testing chamber. Okay. Damn, 420. I think that's the highest rating one. So, another safe. I'm sorry, Kita. Looks like maybe you won't have a partner. It's okay. Don't cry. Don't cry. It's okay. We're here for you. We're here for you. Alright. SB536 is to be maintained according to the standard foundation procedures. SB536 is to not be plugged into its power source except during authorized testing. Any personnel who wish to engage in research involving SB536 must submit an unofficial request from Dr. Blank, under whose supervision all tests are to be conducted. Gravimetric, electromagnetic, and radiological sensors are to be placed on SB536 surface at 1 meter intervals. In the case of abnormal readings on any of these sensors, SB536 is to be deactivated immediately and removed from its power source. Personnel are encouraged to repeatedly check calculations before activating SB536. Description: SB536 is a blank by blank by blank meter chamber. Well, we know that 2 of them are in the double digits. With a 50 centimeter square viewing window, 6 tunnelable dials with corresponding meters, and an electromagnetically sealed entryway. The entryway cannot be sealed or opened from the inside, and dials will not respond unless the entryway is closed and sealed. The viewing windows is opaque to electrons, nuclear particles, redacted, and photons of energies above 1 keV. keV. Each of SB536 dials alters the value of one of the fundamental physical constants within the chamber. I'm starting to get hungry. The dials control respectively the speed of light, C, the gravitational constant, G, Planck constant, H, the fundamental charge, E, and 2 other constants represented by the Greek letters lambda and theta. Memo: after testing, Foundation researchers have concluded that these 2 constants represent the coupling constants for the weak and strong interaction respectively. See testing logs SCP-536-blank and blank. All constants are measured on their respective dials in modern SI units, with the exception of the dimensionless lambda and theta. Except for the viewing window, SCP-536 is totally opaque to electromagnetic radiation and subatomic particles. No abnormal physical behavior has yet been observed outside the chamber during testing. Recovery log: SCP-536 was recovered from the University of Blank Physics Department, where it was installed in the research laboratories of Professor Blank. After its identification as an SCP object, several agents were dispatched with a squad of level 3 security personnel. I wonder if the professor would just let them take it. It sounds like a big piece of science right there for any scientist. That's a big toy. I wonder if the professor was like, please, no, let me have it, let me keep it. Please, I just want to play around with it. Or maybe he got hired by the Foundation. Hey, that would be kind of cool. Somebody who's not a D class, who just like, hey, can I just help? Because I really like this thing, and it's like awesome. Prior to recovery, Professor Blank was either warned of Foundation actions or was able to recognize Foundation agents. Okay, so either somebody told him from like a rival group, or he is part of the rival group, or he just knows the Foundation exists, but he never because kept quiet about it. Using a device, Agent Blank described as a redacted, the professor data expunged. He died in the resulting explosion. Well, that's a shame. You could have maybe they would have hired you if you asked nicely, dude. All references or records referring to SCP-536 has been destroyed before the arrival of any Foundation person. So he had a bunch of data they didn't want to share. If I can't have it, you can't either. I always dislike characters like that. Characters are just like, if I can't have it, him, her, then you can't either. Like, I'm like, dude, it's not up to you. It's just not up to you. Like in 7 Days Sins, for example, Esther Rosa, which if you haven't seen the recent development with him, I won't spoil anything. But like how he has a crush on Elizabeth, but it's canon that Elizabeth and Meliodas like each other. They love each other. They've been a couple for who knows how many years. And this guy is like, I want you. I can't let you have no, I can't let Meliodas have you. And I'm like, dude, it's not up to you. She doesn't like you that way. She's in love with him. Like, don't be a dickhead. I think that I just don't like that. Something about it just rubs me the wrong way when any character tries to, or even in real life, when people try to either A, sabotage a relationship, or B, try to, like, I don't know, just wiggle their way in to like take away the person from another person. I'm just like, no, stop it. Yeah, okay. Detailed analysis of Professor Blank's personnel effects have revealed probable association with several anti-Foundation. Yeah, okay, so he was technically part of those anti-Foundation groups or a rival group, including data expunged. As yet, it is unknown whether SCP-536 was manufactured by any of these groups, or if it has extraterrestrial, supernatural, or extratemporal origins. Testing logs. Here we go. I've been wondering what kind of tests you can do with this bad boy. Okay. So at I assume that's 30 minutes and 34 seconds. Doctors Blank and Blank enter the SCP-536 testing room. Dr. Blank enters into SCP-536. SCP-536 entry closed and sealed. Dr. Blank instructs Dr. Blank to lower the gravitational constant by a factor of 1.5. Dr. Blank complies. Dr. Blank jumps around the interior of SCP-536 under reduced gravity. So dope. That's so dope. I love that. I always wanted to, like, know how it feels to be in a less gravitational room. And I know there are technically rooms that give you that feeling, but not fully. But it's more like air that lifts you up. But I want to go into a room where they somehow manage to just turn gravity off. So I just want to know how it feels just to, like, float like that. And in the future maybe we can go have buses into space, but I mean that shit's gonna cost. Oh, of course, going to a room like that probably costs as well, but you know. Dr. Blank is instructed to return the gravitational constant to original levels. Dr. Blank instructs Dr. Blank to reduce the speed of light to approximately 100 meters per second. Dr. Blank complies. As the speed of light begins to decrease, Dr. Blank shrinks by approximately 10 inches. Dr. Blank abruptly returns the speed of light to its original value. Dr. Blank returns to its original size. Memo: the Bohr radius is a quantity that determines the size of an electron's orbit around an atomic nucleus. It is inversely variable with both the speed of light and the charge of the electron. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I understand the other doctors just like, okay, let me just reduce, like, just, reduce it? Yeah, reduce the speed of light just by 100. I can do that. And he sees his friend just like, oh! Dr. Blank reminds Dr. Blank to account for the decrease in the Bohr radius by decreasing the fundamental charge nu by a corresponding factor. Dr. Blank makes the necessary calculation and complies. Dr. Blank begins speaking in an abnormal slow voice, stating that he feels odd. Remember, the reduction of the speed of light would result in slowing down of the electrochemical process in the brain. This would likely result in abnormal brain activity and quite probable impaired judgment. Yeah, that makes sense. Just don't slow down the speed of light. Just don't do that. Let's stay away from that for now. Dr. Blank instructs Dr. Blank to reduce the speed of light to as low as the dial goes. My man, have you not just learned from your previous tests that it might not be a good idea? After brief hesitation, Dr. Blank complies. The speed of light within the chamber drops below blank meters per second. Dr. Blank suddenly screams violently. The scream slowly drops in register until it becomes inaudible. The video camera positioned at the viewing window records Dr. Blank's body becoming contorted and slowly collapsing into a black hole. I am sorry, but I feel like I could have told you that. I feel like I could have told you that. feel like anybody could have been like, dude, no. Bad juju, don't do it. But here you are, being like, hey, crank the lever, Kronk, all the way down. He's just like, why would you do that? Under supervision of Dr. Blank, the speed of light slowly raised back up to its normal value. Radiation levels given off by the black hole are consistent with presently theorized levels of Hawking radiation. All ionizing photons are absorbed by the chamber walls. Dr. Blank is removed from activity duty and directed to the Foundation of Psychological Studies for Grief Consoling. Yeah, he basically killed one of his colleagues. But to be fair, his colleague is an idiot. He was like, yeah, fucking go all the way down, dude, just do it. It's such a frat, like such a jock thing to do. Like, come on, dude, I can take it, just do it. What do you think, I'm a pussy? Just do it, man. It's like, okay, I warned you. It's gonna be testing log SCP-blank. Subject D1123 is placed inside SCP-536 with a baseball, a meter stick, and a clock. Okay. Dr. Blank instructs the on-site technicians to steadily lower the speed of light by 1 order of magnitude every 2 minutes. No abnormal physical behavior observed. Subject D1123 speech becomes noticeably slowed. Subject begins giggling. Subject is instructed to throw the baseball at opposite wall. Subject reports intense pain in hand after the throw. Subject refuses to throw meter stick or clock. Subsequent analysis of video indicates both Lorentz contraction and redshift of light on the baseball and on the subject's hand. Subject reports feelings of lightheadedness and falls over. Speed of light returns to normal. SCP-536 opened. Subject D1123 found dead of stroke. Wow, you stop changing the speed of light. You're just killing people. It is likely that the subject's stroke was a result of the combination of mass increase and Lorentz contraction of the blood reaching her brain. Arterial blood was being pushed through the body at close to light speed, and the physical effects of that are probably very unhealthy. Even in the case, it says that don't cause immediate death. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Have you not learned from your mistakes? Testing log blank again. Subject D22413 placed in SCP-536. Lambda dial decreased by an order of magnitude, no observable effect. Lambda dial continuously decreased at a rate of 1 order of magnitude every 2 minutes, no observable effects. Lambda returned to normal levels. Lambda increased by 1 order of magnitude every minute. Subject D22413 reports feeling nauseous. Subject vomits. Maximum setting of lambda reached. Subject is alive and conscious. Lambda lowered to original levels. D22413 removed from SCP-536. Subject displays signs of acute radiation poisoning, although no unusually high levels of radioactivity are recorded outside the chamber. Later analysis of D22413's body reveals approximately 0 carbon-14. The amount of radiation damage to the subject's cells is consistent with the expected damage if all carbon-14 in human body is simultaneously decayed. Memo: the connection of lambda to radioactive decay and the dimensionless nature of the constant leads me to believe that it is a coupling constant for the weak interaction. I think it likely that the remaining unknown is the corresponding constant for the strong interaction. Dr. Blank. Last test, again blank. Subject D6263 placed in SCP-536. Theta dial increased continuously by an order of magnitude every 2 minutes, no observable effects. Theta dial returned to normal value. Theta dial decreased by an order of magnitude. Subject D6263 violently disintegrates. Okay. I don't feel so good, Mr. Snow. Theta dial returned to normal value. Teams in hazardous environment suits open the chamber door. Hydrogen gas and high level of neutron radiation are detected. Memo: in spite of the freedom afforded by being able to freely manipulate the laws of physics, it is important to recognize that in many ways in which manipulations of these laws are deadly to human life. or nuclear matter in general. If you like having a body made out of atoms, I recommend the strongest caution in dealing with SCP-5. I recommend the strongest caution in dealing with SCP-536, Dr. Blank. Okay, this one was a save, right? Yeah, because again, as long as you don't put a person in there and just play around with the dials, you're good. But that was fun. Like I wish there was a bit more to it. Like, I understand that we now know that how dealing with the different physics of the world can cause certain things, but it seems like the only safe thing to do is lower the gravity or increase the gravity by a smudge. Not too much that you fucking skin gets ripped out of you, but all your bones are so heavy that it just plummets down, and you just actually your whole body would just collapse. All right, 3 left to do. Go, we're almost done. 1.5 hour recording. That's pretty good. This might be like a 2-hour recording at most. Singing gramophone. Another save. There's a lot of saves in this one again, huh? 2 Euclids, 1 keto, and this is number 8, so it's 5 saves. Special containment procedures. SCP-537 is to be kept in a soundproof room. No additional containment measures are required, although SCP-537 has requested 1 poster of the Muppet movie, granted. Weekly dusting and cleaning of its record, granted. Daily 1-hour visits from the Foundation personnel, denied. Yeah, you ain't gonna get a social visit every hour. Oh, it's just daily 1 hour a day. No. I don't know what you do, but I feel like no. We got other stuff to do, my man. Weekly 1 hour to converse with Foundation personnel sent to clean its record following cleaning. Under consideration. Okay. And vinyl record of the soundtrack from the Muppet movie. Why do you like Muppet movie so much? You can play the entire soundtrack without need of the actual record. Okay. Maybe it's a collector guy. Maybe he just wants the fucking actual thing, okay? Listen, if somebody can sing like Michael Jackson, doesn't mean they don't want half the CD of Michael Jackson. I'm just saying, like, maybe they still want the songs. Description recovered from a pawn shop to which it had reportedly been brought by a young man in February of 1980 blank. SCP-537 appears the appearance of a completely normal, albeit tattered gramophone, with no visible deviations or abnormalities. The vinyl record -2 beneath its needle has only 1 circular groove that does not move inward, so that the needle never reaches the center of the turntable. The needle is abnormally difficult to lift, but can be lifted by hand with some effort. The needle will snap back down the moment it is released. SCP-537 is without a doubt intelligent and demonstrates ability to both see and hear. It is not yet known how. He communicates by playing songs. Nice, I like that. I kind of want to do this as a shorts. SCP-537 is to be able to play any song that can be found on an existing vinyl record and can do that so at will. I mean, now, since more people are coming back to vinyl because the appreciation for vinyl is coming back, I can imagine there's a whole bunch of new songs that this thing could play. SCP-537 plays songs all the way through and will never interrupt a song unless its needle is forced up, in which case it will resume the song from the point it left off at the next time it is able to play music. Forcing SCP-537 to interrupt a song is discouraged, as doing so seems to cause it to become irritated and respond petulantly to testing for up to several days. Okay, so let it play its song out. Yeah, I feel you. I don't like it either. I had a New Year's party in Ibiza with my family and family friends, and my friend and I, we created a playlist for the New Year's. It's a bunch of like older songs, newer songs, party type songs to just relax and eat to. We spent like a good 2 hours trying to really collect all the songs that would work. and we wanted to connect it to the radio in the house, but since I had an iPod and Sonos doesn't connect with iPods, you have to have Bluetooth, and you have to have an app, not Bluetooth. My iPod has Bluetooth, but you have to have an app, so I couldn't connect to it. But my mom had a boombox, a Bluetooth boombox, so we used that instead. And after like 3 songs, the guests decided to just hijack the boombox. They took my iPod and just played songs off of it, and then they took. Actually, no, they took my phone because I had to play it with my phone afterwards. So they took my phone and just started to like play songs that was like very unfitting for New Year's, to be honest. And they did the thing that I just don't like. They played songs like halfway through, and then jumped to the next song. They never let the song finish, and it was like really good songs too. Like we had like Queens on it, and what else did we play? We played Queen. We played. Oh yeah, there was definitely some Michael Jackson stuff. There was some like Hispanic songs because we in Ibiza. There were definitely some dance songs, like some good old school, like Hit the Road Jack and all that stuff. They never let them play out. They just skipped it to the next song immediately. And I was getting very irritated. I was like, first of all, you're using my phone to like just press on random songs that not like I picked songs that most likely everybody knows. And yeah, then it just became like this dubsteppy trance electronic songs all the way, and my mom doesn't like those stuff. That's why I was certain to pick songs that we all could like. But yeah, I know it was annoying. So I fully understand where this gramophone is coming from when you just interrupt in the middle of it. I understand that. SCP-537 can raise and lower its needle on its own. It can answer yes or no question quickly by raising and lowering the needle once for yes and twice for no. It moves its needle in a similar fashion to express numbers, usually used to refer to other SCPs. Attempts to reach SCP-537 Morse code has a way of accelerating communication have failed, owing to SCP-537's inability to read or spell. It does not matter what record is on SCP-537 turntable, it can play whichever song it plays regardless. It does, however, prefer to have -2 as it seems to unable to reset its needles alone and will eventually be unable to continue playing. -2 when played back on a normal turntable is blank. SCP-537 appears to enjoy interacting with humans and thoroughly enjoys being interviewed. Its personality is often described as pompous and flamboyant, usually greeting people with willkommen from the musical corporate. Yet distinctly childish, it is prone to tantrums when offended, which usually consists of it playing angry music at a maximum volume non-stop until brought back to containment. It seems more trusting of younger employers and treats older people with cautious disrespect. Hey man, don't be like that. I mean, unless the older people are asshole towards you, okay, fair enough. But give everybody a chance. When asked about its favorite song, SCP-537 invariably responds by playing the Rainbow Connection from the Muppet movie. I do want to know why it has such a liking towards the Muppet movie, though. Document 1. Test for special properties in -2, performed by Dr. Blank. -2 was played in a regular turntable. The record is apparently blank. A minor record consisting of one perfectly circular groove, along with the needle will travel, was made for the purpose of its experiment. When given to SCP-537 to play, though the replica record was identical, SCP-537 apparently realized that it had not been given -2 and reacted angrily, raising its needle and refusing to lower it until given its own record back. SCP-537 continues to refuse to communicate with Dr. Blank. I mean, you could have just said like, hey, I just want to know if this works for you. I'm pretty sure if you just told him, he would have just been like, okay, it's like, yeah, no, it doesn't work. Document 2 experiment 537 /03 043-1. SCP-043. That's way back. Damn. Okay. That is the beetle. Yes. Yes. Okay. SCP-043 and a second functioning turntable were introduced to SCP-537, overseen by Agent Blank. Transmitting follows. SCP-043 placed to track 29. Heavy breathing is heard. Agent Blank. He's here now. 537. Say hello. Willkommen from Cabaret. During song hello. What's that sound? Makes a scratching sound but continues playing Willkommen during this the record player you told me about. Is there a way to shut it up? Agent 537 can't play another song until it finishes the one it's playing. How annoying. Song ends. Right then, that was lovely. I'm just supposed to converse with you, so how are you, I suppose? Begin playing Sunshine, Lollipops and Rainbow by Leslie Go. Oh, wonderful. Song ends. Right. Let's talk about me then. Is there something you want to know about me? SCP-537 raises a nose, it's denoting an affirmative answer. And what would you like to know? Begins playing Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. During the song, why are you playing that song? What do you think? I raise its volume. During song, oh my god, what's happening? Song ends immediately, begins playing the same song again. Shouting during song, stop it, raises volume. Shouting during song, data expunged. It's removed from the room. Oh. Damn, okay. Was there like some beef? What was that all about? Why did that happen? Why did SCP-537 do that? Stretching. SCP-043 unsurprisingly was not willing to discuss its reaction to SCP-537, simply referring to it as that cheeky thing and mentioning that it's the type that needs to learn to be careful if it doesn't want to data expunge. Okay. Maybe because like 043 is considered an elder. I don't know. Document 2. Experiment again. Okay, let's try this again, I guess. How many times are you gonna make poor 043 do that? Was placed after reluctantly agreeing to do so on the SCP-437's needle. When asked how he was feeling, SCP-437 played the first 8 tracks of the White Album by the Beatles. It should be noted that it is unusual for SCP-437 to play a song on the record it is turning, let alone several songs in the proper order. After the 8th track, rather than the record stopping or Revolution 9 playing, the record began to skip. A loud noise described as somewhere between a record scratch and a shriek was heard and did not stop until the needle was forced up. SCP-043 refused to speak of the incident, saying only that it never wanted to be near SCP-437 again. SCP-437 reacted similarly when asked its opinion of SCP-043. It responded by playing George Carlin's routine 7 words you can never say on television. Addendum A. Since experiment, the second one. SCP-437 has flatly and consistently refused to play any song by the Beatles, responding each time by raising and lowering its needle twice. When asked multiple times to do so, SCP-437 reacts angrily. Dr. Blank. Addendum B. Speculation as to whether or not SCP-437 is capable of playing songs from vinyls released after its construction, the date of which is unknown, has been settled as of recent interview, which it ended by playing Carrying is Creepy from O in the World by the Shins, an album released on vinyl in June of 2004. So yeah, there you go. This is interpreted of SCP-537's way of expressing its apathy towards the interview. Okay. I like him. I like him a lot. I think it's cool. I realized I was like leaning out a little bit too much. Okay, hold on. That should work. There we go. I like this one. Like Thor with Captain Marvel. I like this one. Okay, what is the second last one? Shadows. Spiders again! we had ice spiders before. Now we have shadow spiders. Wah. Wah. Hey, the third Euclid. Okay. Here we go. Complain procedures. All instances of SCP-538 are to be contained within a flush-wide 15 by 15 by 3 meter room with no fewer than 4 overhead 200-watt lights. These lights are to be centered above a 1 by 2 by 0.5 meter block table stationed in the center of the containment area and shining at all times. One Class D personnel in a chemically induced coma is to be kept medically stable upon the table and will serve as the feed source for all specimens of SCP-538. No source of shade should be present in the room other than the provided by the Class D. If at any point a light in SCP-538's containment area burns out, a crew of 2 security personnel are to be sent in through an adjacent airlock. Personnel are to be equipped with sealed hazardous material suits, complete with independent oxygen tanks, and advised to move slowly and deliberately in order to avoid agitating SCP-538. They are to be replace the burned out bulb, and upon completion of the task are to return to the airlock. Once personnel are isolated within airlock, they are to be flushed with 300-watt white light in order to assure no instances of SCP-538 are clinging to their person. Now we have a crossed out sentence here. Examination of Class D personnel providing sustenance for SCP-538 are to be done in a similar manner. However, only 1 doctor is required for examination, so that got crossed out. Now we have an addendum to explain why it has been crossed out probably. Yeah, usually it is the case. If at any time all 4 lights are to go out simultaneously, the chamber is to be sealed along with all observation ports. Until means of relighting SCP-538's chamber are available, the containment area is to remain in lockdown. If at any time personnel are bitten by SCP-538, the infected individual must be placed within SCP-538's chamber as soon as possible. Failure to do so could result in massive breach of containment and will result in termination of responsible individual. Okay, sounds creepy to me. Security personnel are to be periodically screened for any unusual phobias. Any personnel found to exhibit any degree of arachnophobia is to be reassigned. Okay, so that must be part of what it does. But what else does it do? Okay, description. SCP-538 appears to be inanimate shadows of an unknown species of spiders. SCP-538 appears to feed off of the shadows of other living objects. It will move to the nearest shadow cast by a living organism. To feed, SCP-538 does no more than attach itself to the shadow of its host in such a manner that its own shadow is not obscured. Though in this manner, a single specimen of SCP-538 can grow up to approximately 15 square centimeters in size. Okay, damn. That is... Oh, damn, okay. Feeding after this point appears to be simply maintaining the size. The whole process has so far proven to be harmless to the host. While a specimen can attach itself to an inanimate object to feed, it will slowly atrophy and decrease in size over time. Only when connected to the shadow of a living organism can SCP-538 thrive. SCP-538 has shown itself capable of going short distances through open, well-lit areas, such as to reach a nearby host or to escape a source of agitation. However, it will rapidly decrease in size at a rate of nearly 2 square centimeters per second for the length of time it is not attached to a shadow. Should a specimen be stranded out in the open long enough, it will eventually decrease to nothing, at which point it can be considered deceased. Top land speed has been observed at approximately 1 meter per second when at maximum size. Oh damn, that's okay. That means... Okay. So 100 meters will be 100 seconds, which is a minute and 40 seconds. It's not the fastest, but it's pretty quick. SCP-538 has shown itself to be capable of slipping through cracks greater than 3 millimeters in height. Oh damn, oh yeah, because it's shallow, it's flat. Spaces less than this distance appear impassable. While generally benign, SCP-538 can and will attack its host if frightened. Frightened SCP-538 generally involves a rapid movement by its host, at which point it will bite the organism's shell before attempting to flee. Bite must occur on bare skin to cause effects. Clothing material consisting of cotton or anything sturdy will provide sufficient protection. Upon being bitten, an individual will go through 5 different stages within the space of an hour. Note that bitten individuals may attempt to hide the condition, therefore any individual exhibiting the following symptoms must be contained immediately. Okay, here we go. Stage 1. Upon agitation, SCP-538 will bite the shell of its aggressor. Subject will report pain in relative area bitten or on a shadow. However, no puncture or wound will appear in this location. Subject will quickly become irritated. Yeah, you know what I mean. Snapping at those around him. Stage 2, 10 to 15 minutes after being bitten, subject will begin perspiring heavily but may report feeling cold. Skin will become red and warm to the touch. Stage 3, 25 to 30 minutes after being bitten, subject will become violent and aggressive, attempting to start conflict with those around him. Speech will be slurred and motor skills may be impaired. Subject will resort to violence, often attacking those closest to him. Stage 4, 40 to 45 minutes after being bitten, subject's skin color will turn pale and paste colored, and the core temperature will drop between 5 to 8 degrees Celsius. Subject will be apologetic to those around him and may cite that he was not feeling well. Subject will attempt to excuse himself and retreat to the darker area. Stage 5, like an hour basically, minutes after being bitten, subject will data expunge. Resulting fluid will be completely translucent and harmless. Subject shell will have at this point completely disintegrated into smaller specimens of SCP-538, approximately 4 square centimeters in area, and the lack of a better term should be considered its offspring. Oh boy. Basically, it made babies through your shadow. Okay. There's currently no cure for being bitten by oh, that's... Ow, ow, ow. I hit the part where the vaccine... it's still, like... I can definitely move it around and it doesn't, like... The sore sensation is gone, but anything touching it too harshly, it still, like, stings. As death has proven to be ineffective at halting advancement of the condition, but rather skips the process directly to stage 5. Oh my god! So if it's like 5 minutes into stage 1, and you kill him, it just goes to stage 5 immediately. Okay, gotcha. As a result of incident I-538-A, no fewer than 2 security personnel equipped with 250-watt flashlights are to be sent into a company doctor examining Class D. Incident report I-538-A. Here we go. Blank, site blank, sector blank, containment chamber 538. Dr. Blank enters containment chamber 538 for a routine checkup of D7821, equipped with standard issue fully sealed hazardous material suit. 2 minutes and 23 seconds into examination, attack by the Chaos Insurgency cuts power to sector blank through blank as per protocol. Chamber completely sealed and locked, trapping Dr. Blank inside with SCP-538. Power remains cut off for an additional 23 minutes until backup generators are powered up and patched into the power grid. As per protocol, power was not routed to SCP-538's containment cell, but rather to sector blank containing redacted at the time. Power subsequently routed through to the next highest level priority containment cells. As SCP-538 was sufficiently contained at the time, it was deemed minimum priority. No major containment breaches were reported. Attack repelled by quickly with minimum casualties. Site engineers worked to restore power. 18 hours after Chaos Insurgency attack, power finally reaches SCP-538 containment cell. A subbing Dr. Blank is escorted from the chamber, claiming he could feel him crawling all over him. Doctor undergoes psychological therapy for his newfound arachnophobia. Containment protocol updated. Doctor was reassigned. But hey, he wasn't bitten. He kept calm. He kept calm all this time. Props to him. Well, I can imagine it must be such an unnerving feeling being inside there. Last one, the perfect distraction, which is Euclid. Hey, okay, so we had, I believe it was like 4 Euclids, 1 Keto, and 5 saves. Okay, and this is a short one. Nice. It was gonna be around 2 hours by the time we're done. Special containment procedure. SB539 is to be kept in a padded case to remain locked at all times, unless a supervisor with a minimum security clearance level of 2 is present to observe, and only during potential testing of its phenomena. Physical contact with SB539 is forbidden unless approved testing is being conducted. Description. Object is a thin, round, discomposed or undetermined material. While there appears to be corrosion around the edges, testing has determined that the marks are not the result of oxidation. When thrown, an event will occur in the immediate vicinity that will draw attention away from its thrower. This distraction have no observable pattern of any sort. However, it has been determined that the distraction will be more overwhelming in proportion to the difficulty of removing attention from the user. Due to the unpredictable nature of SB439's effect, testers are currently advised to throw it as far as possible from themselves. Okay, here we go. Addendum test notes. This sounds fun. Test 1. Security personnel ordered to line up all with clear lines of sight on tester, with instruction to not break eye contact with tester under any circumstances. When the disc was thrown, the security personnel experienced a sudden wardrobe existence failure, causing all of them to lose eye contact within the tester, being more concerned with the loss of clothing and the issue of the climate being rather uncomfortable to a nude security guard. That is funny. Just clothes gone. Shit! Test 2. Tester was dressed in bright and eye-catching clothing for this test. Tester was alone with security personnel in an empty office. Security personnel ordered to maintain constant eye contact with tester. When the disc was thrown, the entire building fire alarm triggered and could not be turned off until the disc was retrieved and the computer security system was set. Yes, but did he lose eye contact? That's my question. Or was he like... Was he the one who had to walk away, basically? I don't know. Test 3. Class D personnel given instruction to attract the attention of the local authorities, then make use of the SCP. Personnel chased by police after smashing a law cruiser window. When thrown, a large animal of the species Carhinus Lucas bullshark appeared in the way of the... Wait. When thrown, a bull shark appeared in the way of the pursuing police cars, which were forced to stop and investigate. After Class D personnel were debriefed, both the shark and the SCP were retrieved by field agents. It is worth noting that the police officers involved have remained firmly silent to their superiors about the incident. I mean, how do you want to explain that? How do you want to explain that they chased a man, he threw a disc, and suddenly out of nowhere a bull shark just appeared on the middle of the street? Look, I appreciate a good laugh as much as anyone, but perhaps this could have ended better if the research staff had gotten permission. Furthermore, I find it highly likely that the method of distraction will involve animals, given the way that they almost always attract the attention of humans. Dr. Blank. Not only that, but you also involved civilians that have nothing to do with the Foundation. It's not a good idea. It doesn't even say that you gave the officers any amnestics. They just saw a bull shark appear out of nowhere, and that's it. Test 5. Test to determine object's effectiveness on proxy observers. Testing personnel set up an observation camera linked to a computer monitor in a different building. The computer will both record and display the video feed to observers. Camera was focused on test subject, and the remaining personnel moved to the monitoring computer. When this was thrown, the computer suffered a fatal error caused by the deletion of the hardware drivers needed to use the camera feed. Recorded video was corrupt and beyond recovery. Makes sense. That's a perfect distraction. Just fucking destroy the computer, the cameras, or corrupt the data. Makes sense. And that was the SCP-530s. Yeah. there was some ups and downs for sure. There were some good ones in there for sure. I really okay. Here are my favorite ones. I would say Pear Brass God Cats. That's one. Singing Gramophone and The Perfect Distraction. Those are the three tops. Those are the three tops, I would say. Then the three middle ones, I would put Call the Variable Dog is one. The Frost Bug. And the Snake Necklace. Yep, I would put that. Those are the lower ones basically. The in the middle, like they're like I like them, but then not like anything huge. Then the three lower ones, like they're interesting, but not the best. I would say would be Misplaced Blood, Communicative Beaker, Physical Law Testing Chamber, and then the one I actually no. Let me put Shower Spiders in. What did I say before? Okay, wait, hold on. Let's do like one. So one is Pair of Brass God Dogs, Singing Gramophone, and The Perfect Distraction. Okay, those are all number ones. Those are the tops for me. The second ones, which are like lower, Call the Variable Dog, Frostbug, Shower Spiders. Yeah, those are the ones where I'm like, they're good. You can read them if you want to. Then the ones who are lower, which are like good ideas but could be better, is Snake Necklace, Communicative Beaker, Physical Law Testing Chamber, and the one that I think is actually let's take yeah. Frostbug, Communicative Beaker, Physical Law Testing Chamber. Those are like the ones like, yeah, they're good. Misplaced Blood, I think, is the one which I would recommend the least. So that's the order. I need to actually next time, I need to write those things down next time. Like open like a note app and just write them down so I don't confuse myself. But I think that's the order I would put them in. At the end, I'm not saying any of these are horrible. I'm just saying in order of interesting or good. Well, not good, interesting, or what I enjoyed the most. I think I enjoyed all of them at the end. That's who I am. But those are, if I had to like critically put them in a rank system, that's how I put them. So, and I want in the comment section, I want you to tell me what are your favorite SCPs from the 10s we just read, and if you have any like interesting opinions about each one of them, like you can say like, oh, I like this one because of this. Just give me your opinions, basically. Just give me your opinions in the comment section down below, and yeah, if you have any stories to tell, like, oh, like when I read this one, I read that with a friend, and yeah, he freaked the fuck out because he doesn't like spiders, or so, I don't know. Just anything you can think of about this SCP that you want to share, just put that in the comment section down below. In the meantime, thank you very much for joining me on this SCP reading trip, and I'll see you guys next video. And when it comes to the, hopefully, the 540s. In the meantime, enjoy your day, guys, and just make sure you subscribe if you do enjoy this type of stuff, okay? I need to actually say this in the beginning of the videos or in the middle of the videos, not always at the end. And yeah, just enjoy your day. The Afro's Review.